Ladies and gentlemen of the Nightmares Podcast, how are y'all doing today? I'm your host, Zachary Smith, and today we got our guest, Victor Melendez, back. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. Other than that, we have these usual bastards. We got Brandon here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Squirrels. Okay, we got Mark over there. He's not really Italian, but he is Italian.
I'm doing Italian-y.
Okay. And then we got Colin. How you doing, Colin?
Good, you? Thanks.
Cool.
Thanks. Good story, dude.
Good story. Good story.
Cool story, bro.
So today we are talking about a very explosive topic. It's going to give you a real headache, you could say. I don't know. If you stare really intensely at the camera, Brandon's head might just explode, you could say.
You know, I'd expect that from Brandon, but I thought you were better.
I'm
very disappointed.
Don't be disappointed. Be proud.
I'm disappointed. I'm going to go with disappointment.
We're talking about exploding heads, okay?
Yeah, head explosions, however you want to put it.
I would like to get a head start. That's my pun for...
Fuck it! We're done! I'm done! I'm out!
All right, well, since you made that pun, you get to go first.
I love it.
All right. Victor, tell us, what's your favorite head explosion?
My favorite head explosions are the ones from shotguns, because obviously it just blasts off the space.
You know we're talking about movies, right?
Yeah, like an actual specific example.
Yes, I do. Recently, Brandon put on this movie called The Hunt. And Hunt?
Just Hunt.
Hunt.
There's no the.
No,
It drops the the. It's cleaner.
If you put the, you're gonna definitely get a different movie. Don't put the, please don't do that.
Actually, The Hunt may be an actual movie.
Well, while he looks that up, Victor, tell us about this incident, scene, or...
Well, it was, so I popped in last 15, 30 minutes of the movie. It was pretty gnarly because the final girl was crawling away and you had this music box going on, and every time the music box would hit a certain keynote, then the shotgun would just fly right through. And so obviously the villain's chasing her and ends up receiving a sweet, awesome head explosion from a shotgun. Brandon, you remember that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome?
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah, pretty decent movie, too. It's written and directed by the writers of A Quiet Place.
Oh,
and it's pretty much, it takes place like on or around Halloween. And there are these friends that basically find this haunted house that's like one of those extreme haunts, essentially. But it's really run by people who are trying to kill the guests of the haunted house.
Okay.
It's decent.
Sounds like fun.
It's got some good parts to it.
Sweet.
And the other movie that we watched on Shudder is the Straight Edge Kegger.
Yep.
Which has a pretty awesome gun to the head headshot explosion. It came out of nowhere, and it was definitely like, oh yeah, that's our favorite scene right there.
Yeah. It's pretty good. And we got to meet the director like 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, it was pretty sweet. He was a pretty cool dude. And we totally love to see more head explosions in future films.
It's always surprising how amazingly normal some of the most twisted directors are. Like Brian Usna, like the nicest, calmest, sweetest man. He's like, when we met him at Music Box, he was like, oh my God, thank you guys so much for coming to see the movie and everything. Did you guys have a good time? I'm like. You're acting like my dad. It's weird.
You directed The Shunting.
I know. Why aren't you weirder?
You directed Faust.
Oh God. I guess since the camera's on me, I guess I can go.
He just wants to hear himself talk.
Not really. That's why I'm sitting in here today. One that has a horror scene, but it's not from a horror movie. But it was one of the first head explosions I ever saw, and it still has a lasting impact from to this day, is the Nazi head exploding from the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Still one of my absolute favorites. You can kind of tell, effects have definitely improved in the last, 30 or 40 years, however long it's been, like 1980. So, almost 40 years. So it's definitely improved, but it was one of the first ones I ever saw. So it always has a special place in my heart, especially watching a Nazi's head explode is always really, really nice. And then or seeing a Nazi's head explode, and then also seeing Ivan Ooze's head explode is pretty great too. The dude who played Belloc is the same guy who played Ivan Ooze in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
Oh.
Well, shit.
So you now know that. And then also my other favorite is from one of my favorite horror movies. Actually, definitely of the first ones I saw was the bad guy's head explosion in The Frighteners. Still one of my favorite. When I think it's Michael J. Fox or one of the girls is trying to shoot one of the ghosts, and then he gets in the middle and literally shoots his head off, and then he instantly
I think
becomes
it was
a
the
ghost.
crazy chick who did
Oh
that.
yeah, it was the crazy chick. Yeah. But the whole
His ghost head is just right
it's just
there,
right
too.
there,
And
like,
he's
it's-
just super confused, just like, wait, what the fuck just
What the
happened?
fuck? Did my head just explode? Yes, it just exploded. Those are still my two favorite ones of all time, and they always seem to have a pretty big impact on me because I saw them when I was younger, and I tend to remember them more than other. When I was doing some research for the list, I was coming across like top 10 lists of head explosions, and that one came across. I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot about that. I fucking love that movie. If you have not seen The Frighteners, it's an awesome. I know everybody here has, but it's an awesome movie. Highly recommend it. Dude, Victor, what are you doing, dude? It's Peter Jackson and
I
Michael J.
haven't
Fox,
seen-
dude. What the
How
fuck
have you
is-
not seen The Frighteners, man?
Dude,
Because it's not under my radar. You guys, all of you told it that you've seen it, but yet you're like, everybody's seen it, right? Right? No.
There are a lot of movies in the world.
No, there aren't. There's only
Nobody's
five.
nobody's gonna see all movies.
yeah, we kind of get like kind of creepy cultish when somebody hasn't seen a movie. You're
Don't
like,
be creepy,
you haven't
Mark.
seen it, right?
One
You've
of
seen it,
us,
right?
One of us.
Mark, it's not a bad thing if somebody hasn't seen a movie. That just means there's somebody new that you can introduce it to.
Oh, well, that's one of Brandon's favorite pastimes.
For the record, everyone has seen Night of the Creeps.
No, they haven't.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have.
not everybody.
You have been warned.
God, oh, that is all right. Hold on, for those, Brandon, explain what the hell that is.
So basically, if somebody tells me they haven't seen Night of the Creeps, my immediate response is, well, I know what we're doing for the next 90 minutes. Zach's a victim, Mark's a victim, Freddie was a victim, Wes was a victim. I'm pretty sure there have been others too.
And you know what? I don't even consider myself a victim because that movie's fucking awesome.
It is a freaking awesome movie.
He gained so much good faith from that movie and then lost all of it on TerrorVision.
Which, whenever we go to a convention, you guys seem to be the only people who don't like TerrorVision.
I know.
No, it's split down the middle.
Because
Because whenever we're talking to people outside of conventions, we're the majority.
yeah, it really
Only having Marcus does not make you the majority.
Yes, it does. Marcus is double the age of us, therefore we get double the votes.
That works.
I gotta be with Brandon on this one. That doesn't work at all.
Don't disagree with my logic, Italian.
They
Can't have more than one vote, and dead people can't vote.
tell that to Chicago.
We're going to leave that one alone.
The President Kennedy absolutely got elected. That's a history joke for everybody. Anyway, back to
Never mind. So, never mind. Never mind. So, Brandon, you had a specific movie in mind that
These jokes are literally-
mind-blowing.
These jokes are literally making my head want to explode.
All right, so I'm just gonna get this one off the table real quick.
So
'cause
Brandon's
it's-
gonna pick on scanners.
Well, it's much like Jaws and shark movies and Terminator the Killer Robot movies. We all know Scanners is the king of exploding heads. There's really not much new to say about it. It's always at the top of exploding head lists for a reason.
Brandon does actually something really special for pretty much all of his friends on their birthday. Tell everybody what you send them on your birthday.
So for people's birthdays, I pretty much brought into Photoshop a screen grab of the exploding head from Scanners. And like, let's say, for example, it's your birthday, Victor.
It's my birthday.
I would basically put on it, have a mind-blowing birthday, Victor.
Oh, yeah.
I
Very
look
sweet.
forward to it every year. I really do. It's pretty fucking great.
Yeah. And then I also have the old Cavity Colors artwork of the exploding head on my wall.
Oh, that was from Cavity Colors?
Yep, yeah,
Oh,
that was
okay.
before they got into T-shirts, or I think they had T-shirts,
Oh.
but they weren't any like they're not
The
how they are
Cavity Colors
now.
they are today.
Yeah, like
Which
it was they were very artwork based,
Okay.
whereas now they're more T-shirt based.
Hey, I'm
and
fine
they
with
have
wearing their
enamel
Friday the
pins and-
13th shirts all the damn time. So.
Yeah, so I do wish they would do a shirt of that Scanners print, but I'm good with having the print. And actually, at the old apartment I used to have, I had that art print right across from my door, so that would be the first thing people saw when they came in.
Can't do it in our current one, but
Nope.
oh well.
But yeah, so Scanners, it's at the top for a reason. On a similar note to Scanners, I was kind of debating if I wanted to bring this one up because this is more like an exploding full body. But I always have to bring up this movie in relation to Scanners, and that's Brian De Palma's The Fury, which came out like 3 years earlier. And it's basically Scanners before Scanners. In all honesty, both movies, Scanners and The Fury, are okay. And it's the exploding head from Scanners and the exploding body from The Fury that are the best parts. The big difference, though, is the exploding head from Scanners at the beginning of the movie, whereas the exploding body in The Fury is the climax of the movie. And in The Fury, you basically get to see it from like every conceivable angle with John Williams music playing, and it's awesome. I think and it's like they basically had to clean the room, and the reason why they got it from so many angles was they had to clean the room every time that it exploded to get a second take, and I think they did like 3 takes total.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's an excellent exploding body, and I love it, and it's awesome. And then for my 2 main picks, though, I really like the exploding head of the the actor's name is escaping me, but he was on Lost, but it's his exploding head scene from Planet Terror,
Yep.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
where he just like
He just peeks around the
Right.
corner and BAM!
and what really ties it together is like there are these little like pieces of his face that just kind of go at his jaw, and it's like it's that little.
It's a very
extra-
visceral. That movie is just so beautifully graphic.
Yeah,
God, it's such a great fucking movie.
I love it. I think
Same.
that's probably my favorite Robert Rodriguez movie. Actually.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a shadow
I
of a
like it
doubt.
more than From Dusk Till Dawn. Yes, Mark. I like it more than Sin City. I like it more than Spy Kids 4 and Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Yeah,
How dare you?
Planet Terror is definitely his best.
Zach's thinking about Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Everything
right
I said is technically correct.
I know it is.
I know.
Doesn't mean we have to agree with it. But, yeah, any other choices?
So you like Shark Boy and Lava Girl more
Oh,
than Planet Terror?
Oh, fuck no. God. My sisters made me watch that movie.
I'm sorry.
That was the first time I figured out who George Lopez was.
I'm sorry. That was your introduction?
Yeah.
He's done better.
You're right.
Oh, I know he has.
Like-
I later found out he did better. I'm like, what the fuck's this asshole from Shark Boy and Lava Girl doing on a stage?
He's done a lot
Oh, wow,
better.
he's actually funny. Wow, he's fucking hilarious. He has his own show?
Dude, sometimes a paycheck is just a paycheck, bro.
You're not wrong. You are
Anyway, and so the other one I have is going with one that I don't think it's mentioned much at all, and that's towards the end of The Fly 2. Not The Fly, but The Fly 2.
I would have bet money you would have picked the first one.
Even though there is a good shotgun to the head for the Brundlefly at the end of The Fly, nobody talks about The Fly 2. And there's a scene where basically this guy gets his head crushed by an elevator that's coming down, and basically his head just like explodes all the way out. And it looks awesome, and it's bloody and gory, and it deserves to be talked about in an Exploding Head podcast.
I'm actually surprised you didn't pick the Fly one. Just I know it's it's kind of it's a good head explosion, but from an emotional climax perspective, it's probably one of the best.
It
the best
is
ones.
definitely up there. Because there is another video I'm trying to get off the ground that involves The Fly. So
Fair enough. You'll go into
I don't want to be talking about it's the same 3 movies over and over again. But yes, The Fly is also up there. But yeah, nobody talks about The Fly 2, and I felt that was a head explosion worth talking about because it's so goopy and gory and bloody and awesome.
I got one more quick one that's fun.
I have two quick ones.
Okay, go ahead.
You if that's okay.
Yep.
Also, I just think it's fun. All the exploding Martian heads from Mars Attacks.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right. I don't know how I was blanking on that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
those are always beautiful.
And then there's the Tom Savini exploding head from Maniac, also showed from many angles. And that's a shotgun to the
So
head,
over
too.
fucking dramatic.
telling you, shotguns to the head. More glorious.
Which also the Scanner's exploding head was achieved with the special effects using a shotgun. Yeah.
Yep. The
Mark.
Real quickly, Kingsman, the very end, with all the exploding heads of pretty much fucking everybody.
Politicians.
And politician, world leaders, everybody.
Yeah.
And then also the one I found really fun, and it's kind of like a what the fuck moment, is the exploding head from Final Destination Part 3 with the dude working out, and he's like and he's moving and like
That wasn't
and then,
Part 3.
And was it Part 2?
The one with the weights collapse.
Yeah,
that
with
was
the
it?
plates.
That was Part 4.
Was it Part 4? Fuck.
I think it was part 3 because I remember that.
Are you sure?
I have not seen 4, but I
They
remember that.
I could have sworn it was 3.
I'm pretty sure that's Part 4.
They
I'm gonna tell you, Mark, it's 3. My money's on 3.
I'm pretty sure it's 3, but I mean I could be wrong. I could very much be wrong. They tend to blend together just a bit.
Everything after 1 and 2 does. Like,
The,
some of those characters, it's just like, I'm pretty sure that was that. No, that can't be 3.
Well, dude, I think
Was
Is
it
this
3?
the scene right there?
Yeah.
3.
Damn it!
I could have sworn it was the because I know
I
3 is the one with the
never saw
so
4
got
and
some
5.
money.
but
I know the
recognize
3 is the one with the
scene,
roller coaster. So
Yeah.
and that's how I translated
I don't know
back.
why I thought that character was in 4.
But yeah, the first one's great, dude, because it's originally based on an X-Files episode. So I think that there's something to be said about that. Did you not know that, Victor?
Funny you should say that because it was directed by one of the producers or writers of X-Files.
Yeah, correct. It was his original concept. It never got aired.
And then he went on to
Damn.
direct Dragon Ball Evolution.
and that was the end of his
Yeah.
career. So, Zach, take us out.
Okay, so I have, I was trying to come up with, my pick for this topic, and I'm just like, you see one-head explosion in movies, you've seen them all. So what I decided to do was, I'm going to what I like most, video games, because shooting heads off is more better than watching heads explode. So, one of the first choices on my list is from the game Turok Evolution for PS2. This was the game that, made me discover, and my whole family discovered that I'm a fucking psychopath. Because I would just torture the ever-loving shit out of dinosaurs and the fucking lizard monsters in this game. Now, there's one gun in the game. It's the rocket launcher, and this thing has 3 fire emotes. Your basic missile launcher, a nuke that you can only use once, and this virus thing that you can launch at people. Now, when you launch it, it tracks the fucking enemy. And then when it hits the enemy, what it does is it makes your legs explode, your arms explode, and then your fucking head just explode as well. I know it's not just a head explosion, but it's super cool, it looks super painful, and it's fucking awesome. It's so fun and glorious to watch. They don't make creative guns like that anymore, you fucking piece of shit gamers.
The first mature game I ever played. Played Resident Evil 1 and Turok on the same night, but I technically played Turok first. It always has a special place in my heart, Turok.
So the next one on my list is Manhunt 1. So one of the earliest cool executions that I remember from that game is there were 2 baseball bats. There was a small blue one, and then there was the big red one. Now with the red one, if you manage to get that nice hold long enough on that big red execution, you beat the shit out of the guy real quick, and then you just line the fucking bat up with this head, and then you just smack the fucking thing off and it explodes. Flesh flies everywhere, and you just see a little piece of his head just kind of flap around, just like, ah.
That's cool.
And it's so brutal and nice. And then, you got so many awesome ways to kill people in Manhunt.
Well, I was gonna jump on back to the Saw series. There's a whole bunch of head explosions that I just remembered. So one of the cops who was dangling up
The
top.
ice pack just come and smash this thing in. Yeah. I thought about that one, but I'm like I said, when it came to movies, I feel like I've seen so many head explosions on movies that I'm like, they don't do anything for me. I don't care. That's why I'm going with video games, because I get to cause them, and for the most part, they're pretty cool. And I went through a whole bunch of Mortal Kombat fatalities that I realized I'm like, there's a lot of decapitations, but not too many head explosions. Like the two most popular ones from more recently that I could find were Sindel's, which she sucks. I hate her character. She's fucking boring.
Too bad you will die.
Yeah, sure. And then there's fucking Strikers, but I'm like, it's Striker. I'm just like, yeah, we're
You're
not going.
pretty easy on Stryker in the car
I
ride
was
here
easy. Here's
today.
the thing. I don't hate Stryker like everybody else, but at the same time, it's fucking Stryker, all right? Nobody gives a shit about Stryker. We don't hate him, but we also don't give a shit about him. Fuck off. All right. And then there's fucking the head explosions when you shoot somebody's bloody head off in Fallout 3. And I'm choosing Fallout 3 specifically because that one just felt the more visceral one. New Vegas, everybody loves New Vegas. I thought that one was boring as fuck. It's so just barren and boring. I don't know. I'm in the minority in that one. And 4 was fun. But 3 just...
I'm right there with you.
So just graphic, gory, grotesque, and bloody, and then you can eat the corpse afterwards, so that's always fun.
Wait, you can eat corpses?
Cannibalism is a thing in the game.
Well, I knew cannibalism was, but like I didn't know that you as a player can actually eat corpses.
It's one of the perks you can get later on. I forgot what level you have to be and how evil your karma has to be, but yeah, you can be a cannibal.
Okay. That's
And then
pretty
there's
nice.
also mods you can get to kind of make the cannibalism a little bit more detailed. So yeah, cannibalism's awesome in Fallout 3. I recommend it.
This isn't a head explosion, but I'm looking at the sweater that Victor's wearing, the Goosebumps sweater. And I'll be really quick on this because it's not a head explosion, but there was a haunted mask book called Wanted, The Haunted Mask, which I believe is the only haunted mask book to not feature Carly Beth as a character. And this is, like I said, not a head explosion, but it's like a face ripoff where it's like there was this guy that put on the haunted mask, couldn't get it off, and he eventually got it off, but he basically tore his own face off and died. And from what I understand, it's like one of the few Goosebumps books to actually go into detail about somebody's death.
Ooh.
That's
I
awesome.
would love to see that.
Oh, in a
I also believe it was the first Goosebumps book to be released as a hardcover. Like singular. Like I think there were like collections that were released in hardcover, but this is like the first like single book as a hardcover, if I'm not mistaken.
So that's a
Kinda
trivia
weird.
fact.
Well, I was going to bring up another head explosion, and based on the new and recent Suicide Squad, where you just boom, and even in the old ones too. I mean, where like placed bombs on the necks, things of that nature.
And also the new Suicide Squad also had a face ripoff as well.
Oh yeah, you're right. It did. But what makes those head explosions just a bit more different is that you actually get like chunks and the gooiness, kind of what you were talking about earlier with some of the other
Extra
ones.
chunky.
Extra chunky.
I want soup now.
Campbell's, make a Halloween tie-in with us. Extra chunky head explosion.
They,
Take it. We're not gonna deny it. Shit.
That'd be awesome. Like the hills have eyes. Fucking fucking Campbell soup. Actual human flesh inside.
The Hills Have Eyes or The Hills Have Thighs? Which apparently there are two movies with that title, as we found out that night we Googled.
Oh my god, dude!
Oh.
Like, it's truly amazing that there are two fucking things that have that title.
Wait, what?
There's two separate movies that have that fucking title.
The Hills Have Thighs. And
Yes.
The Hills Have Thighs too?
No.
There are two separate movies that have no relation to each other, but they're both called The Hills Have Thighs.
Are they what I think they are?
One of them is.
Okay.
The other
Which
one.
that one was also directed by Jim Wynorski under a pseudonym, who also directed Chopping Mall, which has a head explosion.
It comes back full circle.
So any other head explosions real quick?
Nah. Yeah, let's take us out.
All right. Thank you for watching this explosive episode of the Nightmares Podcast. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and of course follow Midwest Horror Network on all of our social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and...
Slasher. You forgot YouTube.
We're watching YouTube.
Still, what if they're listening to this on Spotify?
Spotify?
Yeah, Spotify. Whatever.
Is it Spotify?
Spotify. Spotify.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all. So,
Whatever platform you're watching or listening to us on, please subscribe. We appreciate it. Take us out, Mark or Zach, whoever you are.
that's all. Have a good one.